Today is a significant date in the Jewish calendar year, in that it is the Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year for trees. And there are many ramifications in Jewish law that relates to the fruit of the trees and why it is important that we have a date for the Jewish New Year of trees, but beyond the trees. It is significant to you and I, ki Adam eitz hasadeh, because man is compared to the tree of the field. And we learn so many lessons from the tree that relate to the human beings. And the question is, why do we compare ourselves to trees when animals are much more sophisticated than trees and human beings much more sophisticated than animals? Why do we stoop down to the tree to be a comparison to the human being? Well, trees have remarkable features. If anyone has had the pleasure and the joy of visiting the biggest trees in the world in the Sequoia National Forest in Southern California, the Californian redwoods, you could see the sheer size of these trees is mesmerizing. The trees have trunks that are more than 11 meters in diameter, 33 meters in circumference, and the trees go up into the sky more than 85 meters. And most importantly, those trees are alive for the last 2,500 years. I can't get my head around it. When I think about the Jewish people walking to the Beit HaMikdash in Yerushalayim over 2,000 years ago, those trees were already alive, living and growing. Trees, more than any other living creature in the world, have such a capacity of longevity, of size, of endurance. What is the secret of a tree? Well, the secret of a tree is that it has roots that go deep into the soil, so that even when a season comes that is difficult and awkward, arid, there's drought, there's fire, the tree still clings to life because it is connected to its roots and it draws its nutrients and all of the moisture and the energy deep from the bowels of the earth. And that is a very beautiful message to you and I. Am Yisrael, our people Israel, have many powers and many strengths. But the strength of endurance, the strength that enables us to go through the seasons that are challenging and difficult and painful, is when we hold onto our roots, when we look back in time and recognize that we come from Avraham Avinu, the powerful seeders of the Jewish forest, Moses, and all of the great leaders of our past that have given us the ability to draw the nutrients, to draw the energy from a history so rich in achievement and accomplishment. And the reminder to us is, even in the most difficult, painful hours of challenge, to remember that we are connected to a source. And when we remember that source and we remain connected to the source, as does a tree, and we build on that by having the trunk identify the rings of time, the passage of time, all of that which we begin to achieve beyond our roots, and eventually the branches that hold the fruits and the seeds and the hope and the promise of tomorrow. May Hashem give us the ability to look at ourselves and realize that as much as we love to portray our external strengths, the ones that people around us can see and identify in us, there are strengths that are beyond the ability of our friends and ourselves to see with the naked eye. Those are the strengths of where we come from, our source, our roots. And just as a tree clings to its source of life, when we cling to our source of life as Jews, we can withstand the pressures, the difficult seasons, the droughts, and the seasons of fire, and all of the difficulties that we might endure. Because we're connected to our source, we live on, and we live well, and please God, live with optimism and hope and the promise of a better tomorrow. Have a beautiful Shabbos and a wonderful Jewish New Year for the trees.